Hey friend, listen, if you're stepping into a new year and you're feeling the pressure to figure everything out, this is your reminder and an invitation to pause. Before you set your goals, make your plans, decide what's next, what if you chose connection before direction? I created a free reflection guide called Connection Before Direction to help you slow down, reconnect to what matters, and notice what you may be carrying out of habit, not alignment. This isn't a planner or a reset or a resolution. It's a calm, intentional pause designed for high achieving women just like you who want 2026 to feel different, not just look different. You can download the free guide right now at martinewilliams.com/connect. That's martinewilliams.com/connect. Because clarity doesn't come from pushing harder, it comes from reconnecting first. Welcome to the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast, where you will learn simple solutions to win at work without losing at home. Hi, my name is Martine Williams, and I'm your host and CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer. And this podcast is your one-stop shop to creating a burnout-proof life and business by elevating your clarity, confidence, and courage. Friends, it's time to say goodbye to being the yes girl, to procrastinating on your goals and living in overwhelm. And it's time to say hello to creating healthy boundaries, healthy mindsets, and healthy habits so that you can achieve work-life harmony. Your next breakthrough starts here. This is the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast. Let's do this. Well, hey friends, and welcome back to Life Coaching for Mompreneurs. Today, I want to talk about a mindset that I have really been developing over the last probably 3 years when it comes to my business and probably my life a little bit, but I would definitely say more business. It's something that my coach has really been impressing upon me over these last 3 years. And when I say this word, you're going to probably have a thought about it and you're probably going to have a reaction to it. And it probably was what mine used to be. But I want you to think about this word essential and having an essential mindset. So it could be essential. Maybe you're immediately going to like minimalist. And like if you went to my closet right now, you would definitely see I do not have a minimalist closet. Like the idea of only having like 4 outfits that I rotate, like I couldn't do that just for the shoes. However, I want you to think about having an essential mindset when it comes to your life and your business. This is not about how do I keep everything moving or how do I manage it all. It's what is essential to my success in this season? What is essential to your success in 2026? What is essential to your business? Let's just look in the first quarter. What are the essentials that will guarantee your success or your chances of that success in this season? Because success isn't created by doing more. That's like the old version of Martine, the hustle, do more, produce more. It's created by doing what actually matters. So this is why having an essential mindset and what I've really been learning 20 years into the business is most women that I work with are capable of doing a lot. I'm capable of doing a lot. Like I have a high capacity to do lots of things at the same time. And I have a work ethic that backs up that work, right? Like I want to do the work. I'm a worker. Like I'm a hard worker. And so you might be feeling the same way. I'm a hard worker. I'm disciplined. I'm responsible. I'm committed. But capability isn't the same as sustainability, right? You might be highly capable. I'm highly capable of doing lots of things at the same time. But how sustainable is that pace? How sustainable and needle moving is operating from that mindset, operating from doing it all, just getting it done, grinding it out, hustling it out. When everything feels important, your energy gets diluted. And when everything is a priority, nothing really is, right? If everything feels essential, then nothing really is. And when your energy is diluted, nothing gets your best, right? So when you think about having an essential mindset, it asks you to slow down long enough to discern. And if you are a high achiever listening to this and you have, if you had done the pro scan, like low pace in your personality, low patience, like you're moving. And this requires you to slow down so that you can discern what truly moves the needle and what is just simply a habit, an expectation, a past obligation, or a pressure, right? To do this thing. What's truly going to matter? What's truly going to move the needle? And when you are chasing the ball and it just keeps moving faster and faster and faster, your natural inclination is to go faster, to speed up. But we do have to slow down to speed up. We have to slow down and discern what's going to move the needle in my business in this first quarter. What are the essential things that are going to help me to achieve that? And so that may require you to stop doing some things that you've just been doing out of habit, to change your expectations of yourself or of the season of life that you're in. But when you slow down, you're able to discern these things and create those essentials. So choosing what's essential is not necessarily a productivity decision, it's a leadership decision. So I want you to start thinking about yourself as becoming an entrepreneur, a mom, a woman who chooses what's essential. And it's a part of your self leadership. I've been talking a lot about self leadership because so many women, mompreneurs, entrepreneurs that I see, small business owners, is they're living on autopilot. They're not self leading. They're either being led by other people and their expectations of them, or they're just moving so fast. They're like, well, she's doing this, so I'm going to do that, and maybe that'll work for me. But self leadership and choosing what is essential is not just about being more productive, it's a leadership decision. It's an identity that you're becoming. And it requires clarity, it requires honesty, really looking at the mirror, really looking at your calendar, really looking at your skill sets that you currently have. And it requires trust, like trust in yourself, trust that you can do this slow down and get really clear and honest about what it is that you want and what are the essential things that are going to help you get there. Essential leadership means you stop asking, what should I be doing? And you start asking, what supports the life I'm building? So we talk about the shoulds on here a lot. The shoulds are shaming. When you're shoulding, you're shaming yourself or shaming someone else. So the better question is, what supports the life I'm building? What supports the business I'm building? Like I have been thinking about that a lot really since around November, December, and I'm working on my 3-year plan right now. And it's really stretching me because it's so easy in entrepreneurship to say, well, I should be building my business this way, or I should be doing what this expert says, or I should be doing what this coach is telling me to do. And there is a lot of knowledge and support that comes from being in those containers. But when you slow down, and I've been slowing down and really thinking about, okay, 3 years from now, what kind of business do I want? And my first draft of my first 3-year plan, I realized there were a lot of shoulds in there. Well, I should do it this way because this is the plan and I can follow that plan. But when I really thought about it, literally in the last 48 hours, I'm like, but I don't know that I want to be there in 3 years. I want my business to look more like this. These essentials are going to support the life and the business that I'm building. And I just think it's a really, really powerful question for you to be thinking about as you're setting your goals. Like, it feels good to set goals, and it feels good it sets goal when we set goals that also are kind of similar to other people. But like, is that supporting the life you're trying to build for yourself? The business you're trying to build for yourself. There are lots of ways to build a business, and you don't have to build a big empire to have a big impact. I mean, honestly, personally, like I'm not looking to build a big, huge brand where I have like 30 employees underneath me. Like, I'm not interested in that. And I don't think I have to have that to create the impact that I know I'm called to make in my business and in my life. So when you're asking the question, what supports the life I'm building, that question changes how you lead yourself. And when you start adapting or adopting this essential mindset, it's going to require constraint. It's one of the most challenging parts that I have experienced in having this kind of essential mindset is accepting the constraint because I have lots of ideas. Again, I'm a worker bee. of lots of things that I want to work on, and you just can't do it all. You really can't do it all and do it all effectively and do it all without burning yourself out. So when you choose what's essential, you're also choosing what will not receive your attention right now. How many of you just hearing me say that tensed up? Because you're like, I want to get to the finish line and I want to get to the finish line as fast as possible. I want to be out of this feeling of not being successful or not having the money in the bank account or not having the weight loss, right? And so we just go hard, all in, hard, and we're doing all the things, and then we burn out. So for high achieving women, this can be deeply uncomfortable. So I just want to normalize that whatever just happened in your body when I said it means choosing what you're not going to give your attention right now, you probably felt a little uneasiness. And that's okay. It's totally normal. Because most of us learn to equate productivity with worth. So if you tie how much you do and perform to how worthy you are or how valuable you are, constraining down to essentials is going to feel very uncomfortable for you. Maybe you've learned to equate busyness with responsibility, right? The more busy I am, the more responsible I am. Maybe you've learned to equate constant effort with being enough. If I'm constantly performing, I'm constantly putting out, then I'll be enough. And maybe that's what you equate. But constraint isn't failure. It's focus. It's discernment. It's deciding and self-leadership on this is what deserves my energy right now and my focus. And this is what does not right now. It doesn't mean it's not important. It just means it's not the essential thing right now that's really going to move the needle and help you create the life and the business that you want. Quick pause. If you've been listening and you're ready to stop performing your life and start leading it, if you know you're ready to feel better now, not later, and you're ready for support that actually creates sustainable transformation, I have private one-on-one coaching spots open. And inside this coaching, in Illuminate You Coaching, we don't guess. We use your unique personality blueprint built from the science-backed personality and performance tool called the ProScan, the one you've heard me talk about here in the podcast. This is used so that every decision, every boundary, every shift is designed specifically around your wiring, not someone else's. This is my aligned success method. It's not hacks. It's not try harder. It's not mindset glitter. It's a real solution. It's rooted in science, strategy, and your unique design. So you can lead your life as the woman you actually are, not the woman others expect you to be. Now is the time. Take the step. Book your clarity call at martinewilliams.com/clarity. All right, back to the episode. So building the sufficiency and the emotional work around constraint and essentialism, this is where the real work lives. And this is where I see many people, including myself, get stuck because we want out of that feeling, right? We want to be in sufficiency, and you can be in sufficiency and in constraint at the same time. To live from what's essential, you do have to build sufficiency to feel okay with what you're not working on. Right? There's lots of things in my business. I have a long list of things in my business that I want to do, and I can't do them all at the same time. So I have to be willing to feel okay with they're important, but they're not essential. They're not the things I'm working on right now. And when you notice your brain going over here to work on these things and they're not your essentials, that's a moment for pause, because it's just your brain trying to get you're out of that feeling of I'm not working on these things. I want to work on all the things. So sufficiency is the inner steadiness that says I'm doing enough even while some things remain undone. This is like, I'm trying to think of like a motherhood example of this, of like the laundry piled up, dishes in the sink, but a child who needs a hug instead, right? A child who is asking you to come play a game with them. A child who's called you. Maybe your kids are flown and grown, or grown and flown, or however you say that. It's the essential in that moment is your child, right? So it's holding the inner steadiness that I'm doing what's most important, and some things are going to remain undone. The laundry, the dishes, Maybe some work is going to get undone, but most mompreneurs get into entrepreneurship because they want to have the flexibility to be with and for the people that matter most. And that's your kids, probably, or your spouse, or maybe it's a parent. This is not apathy, it's about emotional maturity. So you're not being apathetic, you're discerning and you're being very mature in your self leadership. Because when you don't build sufficiency, what happens is anxiety creeps in. The guilt gets louder. Your nervous system pushes you to overfunction. So instead of resting in your decision, you start second guessing it. You check back in, you add things back too quickly. You override your own discernment. Like, I am speaking from so much experience with this. I just want you to know, like, I get this. But when your nervous system is feeling not immature, but when it's your capacity, your emotional capacity hasn't been built to hold the sufficiency that I'm not going to focus on everything. It's not that you can't, you probably can. It's just that it's not the most essential things to be working on. It's going to get louder. Your nervous is going to get louder. Your anxiety, you're going to start second guessing everything. You're going to be checking back in. You're going to start thinking about adding things back in. And essential leadership requires the ability to sit with that emotion of not working on something without scrambling to fix it. It's like, okay, I feel it. I know there's lots more things that I could be doing and that I want to be doing. And a lot of times it's like the more fun things, right? I want to be doing the more fun things in my branding. I'm picking out logos and colors and all of that. I don't want to work on emails, but that's actually the essential thing that's going to help you to reach your client. The discomfort that you're feeling doesn't mean that you chose wrong. It just means you're learning to trust yourself and you're learning to constrain. And if most of us are not used to constraining, we're in a world where like everything is at our disposal, everything. We could be doing everything. We have access to everything. And so constraining down and being essential in your business is a moment of sufficiency and emotional capacity to hold the feeling of, oh, that urge of I want to be working on this, but this is actually what's essential. So this is one of the most important skills of aligned leadership is the ability to sit with what's undone without letting it define you. Because some things will wait, some things will stay incomplete, some standards will be intentionally adjusted. And instead of acting with urgency, you ask, is this actually essential right now? Like, just start looking at the things that you're doing this week and asking yourself, is this helping me build the life that I want? Is this actually essential right now? Or am I just trying to get out of this feeling? Or if I'm just trying to prove my worth? Not everything that's undone is a problem. Some undone things are strategic. Again, I've talked about it on here, like my Choose You course. It's been sitting in the vault for 5 years, I think now. It's an undone thing, but it's an undone thing strategically. I am going to bring it back at some point. I am going to rebrand it at some certain point. I am going to add to it at some certain point. It's just not what the essential thing is right now. My website, my brand has evolved in the 3 years that I've had it. I want to evolve some of that on the website. It's undone, but it's strategically undone because it's not the most important thing. It's not the essential thing that I'm working on right now. This is how your capacity is protected. This is how your clarity is built. And this is how burnout is prevented because you're getting really clear and you're getting really focused on the things that matter most. And you can take this same concept and bring it into motherhood, bring it into your parenting, bring it into your marriage. Like, what are the essential things that are going to move the needle in those key areas of your life? What's essential will change with the season that you're in. It will. There are seasons where rest is essential. There are seasons where healing is essential. That's kind of the season that I'm coming out of, and I'm kind of still in, but I am coming out of it a little bit more, right? There's seasons where family is essential. Those two go back to back. Taking care of my mother-in-law for 3 months, 4 months, and then going into the healing. All of those things were essential for the life I'm trying to create. They were essential in preventing burnout. They were essential in being able to show up with the capacity to continue to serve my clients. There are seasons where building is essential, right? There's the seasons where like I'm building my business right now. I'm growing my business right now. And then there are seasons where you're simplifying the business. You're simplifying your life. You're in a non-growth season in the business. Maybe you're simplifying your systems and your process and you're working on some stuff in the back end. But the mistake is assuming the same standards apply every season. I mean, my kids are 18 and getting ready to be 21. And so the things that were essential when they were little are not the same as they are now, right? So don't assume that the same standards are going to apply in every season. The essential mindset gives you permission to lead with wisdom and not guilt. I'm doing what's essential. And there's no guilt with that because I know this is what's most important in my business. It's wisdom. I'm being wise. Like start speaking to yourself about your choices in that way. So some questions to practice efficiency and like your essential and focusing. If you want to practice that mindset is to ask yourself, what is essential to my success right now? Like get really clear and honest about that. And the more I've asked myself that over the last week, I realized like I put these really big things on my 3-year list and I forgot some of the like smaller essential things to get me there. So that you may have like 2 or 3 or 4 drafts of this answer for yourself. But it's important to ask, what is essential to my success right now? What am I choosing not to work on purpose? Tell yourself it's on purpose that I'm not focusing on this thing right now. I'm choosing to. That will remove the guilt. That will remove the maybe thoughts of like I'm being lazy or I'm not working hard enough or I'm not being productive. Like, no, I'm choosing not to work on this on purpose. So, what are those things that you're choosing not to work on purpose? Give yourself some encouragement with that one. What emotions surface when I leave something undone? Like, get really clear on that. What are the emotions surface when I leave something undone? For me, it's typically like there's some safety, insecurity in working all the things because I have a pace that I'm trying to, I have a pace that I think I should be. I just, you can't see me, but I just did air quotes, should be going on. Like I want to be further along in my business. So the emotions that surface when I'm leaving things undone is like, this is taking too long. And it's like a hurried, like I'm hurried when I feel like I'm leaving something undone. So, what are the emotions that surface when you know that you're choosing to leave something undone? Can I allow that emotion without reacting to it? So, can you just sit with it, allow it to be there, notice it, and not react to it? Reacting to it would be ignoring, avoiding it, trying to fix it, trying to fix the situation, go out of essentialism and back into like the hustle. What would it look like to trust my decision today? What would it look like to trust my decision today with what I know now? And a lot of times when you're in goal setting or choosing your essentials, you're choosing it with the information you have at the time, right? It's all in theory until you start taking action. So, can you trust yourself that you've made the right decision for today and you could always change it tomorrow or next week as you start putting some action behind it, that essential, and you might realize, oh no, wait, this is my essential. These questions don't create pressure. They're there to help you create some alignment. So I want you to hear me when I say this. Choosing what's essential is not quitting. It's not laziness. It's not apathy. It's not lowering your standards. It's not falling behind. It's leadership. It's leadership. And it's leadership in a way that's going to create a sustainable business. It's leadership in a way that's going to create a sustainable life, a sustainable pace. And the woman you're becoming doesn't do less because she can't do more. She does less because she knows what matters. And this is the work that a lot of us don't do, especially if we're high achieving. We're too busy achieving to slow down and really discern like, am I doing the things that are going to help me achieve at the greatest potential? So the person you're becoming, the woman you're becoming, she doesn't do less because she knows what matters. That's why you're doing less. But she also has a sufficiency to stand in that decision, even when it's uncomfortable. We like the comfort zone. Our brains like comfort. It's always going to try to bring you back to comfort. And when you're operating different from essential mindset, it's going to be uncomfortable. But you have the sufficiency to stand in that decision to choose your essentials and trust that process. You're okay with being uncomfortable. That's who you're becoming. That's who I want you to become when you start thinking about having an essential mindset. So, as you move through this week, I want you to notice, where are you being invited to choose what's essential? And where are you being asked to build the sufficiency to leave something undone? Like, oh, that urge to get it done. Is it really important? I was just doing this with a client of mine. She has a huge brain dump, and I was really helping her decide, okay, when you do that brain dump, what is essential? And everything is going to feel like it if you've been operating this way, but you have to really sit and think, what are the essentials based on the life and the business that I'm trying to create? And if you're not clear on that, then it is really hard to decide what the essentials are. So start with, what is the life and the business that you're trying to create? And then what are the essentials that are important in this first quarter that I put action behind to create that result? And sometimes the essential is the mindset work. Sometimes the essential is building that sufficiency, building that emotional capacity. So that could be one of your essentials. I need to work on building my sufficiency and my emotional capacity to not get anxious when I'm not doing everything. One of my clients I was working with, the same one that was doing the brain dump, like she's in her second round of coaching, and she hired last round someone to help her at home with her kids. And she's a fractional CFO, and another one to help her like in her business. And so she's created margin that wasn't there before. And she's created this white space, right? And she's like feeling anxious that she's not doing something with that time. And that's just her nervous system responding to how she used to operate. And she's learning how to be in that margin, right? That's what she wanted, but it still feels uncomfortable. And so I said to her, like, and it's been interesting, her natural inclination has been to just keep filling it with more work. And so she's looking at her brain dump, and we're talking about it. She's like, some of these things don't even really matter. Like, I just put them in there because she's trying to fill this space because it's how her nervous system is reacting to it. So it's normal that this happens, but where are you being invited to choose what's essential? And where are you being asked to build the sufficiency to leave that white space, to leave that margin, to only focus, put the guardrails up and the blinders on and only focus on these essentials? That choice alone can change how your life feels in 2026. So if this is resonating with you or has resonated with you and you're like, man, I need to talk more about this, or I would really just love to, I know for me, when I'm listening to podcasts or when certain episodes really hit me, I'm like, I wish I could just talk to this person and just give them my unique, we think we're unicorns, right? I have this unique situation. Help me fix this. But that is what a clarity call is to help you to get really clear on your unique situation and make this content or make this, if this is your area to focus on and you're not really sure how to get into that essential mindset, the clarity call is to help you get really clear on that. And maybe it has something to do with this episode. Maybe there's just something in you that's like, I want to have this kind of support moving into 2026. I have some goals. I have some things I want to accomplish in my business and my life. And it would feel really good and luxurious to have support, to have someone who has my back every single week. The first step to getting that support is getting on a clarity call. So you can go to martinewilliams.com/clarity. It's completely free, you and I, for 1 hour, and we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure out where you are, where you want to go, and then what's a simple, doable process to get you there. So hope you enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed it. I feel like there's lots of information. I know I haven't had any interviews in probably 3 months now. I think I haven't had any turquoise talks, but I'm bringing them back in 2026. I can't tell you exactly when because I feel like I have a lot to say right now. And so while I do, I feel compelled to come to the mic and it just be me. So I hope you're okay with that. And, I'm believing in you always. I'm believing big things for you for 2026. And I want to encourage you to keep leading your life with intention. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next episode. Well, that's a wrap, friends. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I really hope it met you right where you are and gave you some encouragement for your day. Could you do me the biggest favor and leave me a rating and review? Seriously, it's the best way for you to support the show. And while you're there, be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Thanks again. And until next time, I am believing in you always.